Back in Durham, look at Stanford's starting lineup tonight. They're going to be paced from a defensive standpoint by Naomi Gurma, the 2019 Pac-12 Defender of the Year, missed last year with injury. And she's got to go up against a prolific freshman goal scorer for the Blue Devils. It's been a phenomenal start to her career for Michelle Cooper, already 4 goals and 9 points in her Duke debut.
Cooper's somebody that came in with quite a few accolades to her name and has lived up to the high preseason freshman best 11. And it's been just terrific from the outset. Really a special player, has the ability to get in behind a back line, but she can check to the ball, maintain possession, hold up play, facilitate for others. She and Mackenzie Pluck have been just an incredible duo for Coach Robbie Church here at the start of 2021.
Cooper, the 4th player in Duke history to score a goal in her first 3 starts and had her first career assist last time out for the Blue Devils in that 2-0 victory over Vanderbilt on the road. First touch of the contest will belong to the Blue Devils. It's great to have you with us on just a beautiful night for this top 10 showdown here in Durham.
What a game. This could be an NCAA quarterfinal College Cup game. That's the quality of these two programs. We're getting to see it here in early September.
And a great early season litmus test for both of these clubs. I think if you talk to both head coaches, they'll tell you maybe outside of a match to start the season, probably not tested all that much so far, but you'll learn a lot about your club tonight.
Well, and it's interesting you say that because I think you're right. Neither team has really been tested. The difference is Duke has played a schedule that you would think that would have tested the Blue Devils, whereas Stanford, a little bit softer schedule. So I think of the two, the Cardinal actually has a little bit more to learn about itself here tonight than Duke does. Duke's put up some pretty good results already against a couple of top 20 teams in Arkansas and Washington, go on the road. Vanderbilt struggling a little bit out of the gates this year, but still a very competent side. It's been an impressive start. This 4-0-0 record for Duke, numbers next to the names, always impressive.
Early feeling out here between these two clubs. Duke head coach Robbie Church saying he thought it was important to play that game against Vanderbilt. Maybe an early look there for the Blue Devils, but Stanford able to take it away. Coming out of that match against Stanford, similar styles that Vanderbilt and Stanford will play, so a nice test for the Blue Devils to prepare for this game against the Cardinal tonight.
Tess Bodie on the ball for the Blue Devils. She's always so important for Duke, and that final third needs to possess. Cooper making herself a target there.
Trying to angle one there to Mackenzie Pluck. Already 3 goals for Pluck. We talked about the dynamic duo for Stanford in the open, but boy, those two have been really special for the Blue Devils so far this season.
Pluck has always had the talent. It's just been performing consistently, and she's put it all together. It's what you want to see out of a senior. It's what the Blue Devil coaching staff is seeing this year out of Pluck, and then you combine with Cooper. Pick your poison scenario for opposing defenses.
But because of that two-headed monster for Duke, they're going to draw a majority of the attention you imagine on the scouting report. They'll be at the top of the report for opponents. Is Duke still searching for that 3rd goal scorer to help those two out?
Yeah, we'll see. They haven't necessarily needed it yet. Tess Bodie's got a couple. Emmy Dewar came on in really a reserve capacity in Duke's 6-0 win against Western Carolina. For now, it hasn't mattered. I'm sure Coach Robbie Church would love to see another goal scorer, though.
Cooper right into the box there for Bodie. Maybe a little bit too much pace on that pass. And an easy opportunity now for Katie Meyer. 16 career shutouts for the Stanford keeper.
Yeah, top 10 all time, and anytime you're in the top 10 of anything, the Stanford women's soccer program, you know you've had a pretty stellar career.
It's the Stanford program off a couple of national championships. Went to the College Cup in 2018, won it all in 2019, and then a rare setback for the Cardinal last year, going just 6-6-2. Graham looking to cross one into the box. Cooper not home. Bodie couldn't put a boot on it, and it's all the way through the box, and the Cardinal survives that half chance.
It's a good start for Duke. Graham involved, Cooper, Pluck, Bodie, all the usual suspects for Robbie Church. Getting a couple of touches on the ball here early, feeling their way into the game.
And no real opportunities yet for Stanford either. The Blue Devils have really kept the ball primarily in that attacking third for the first 4 minutes of this match.
Both teams can play in a variety of ways, but both like to possess the ball. And thus far, Duke has had a vast majority of the possession here in the opening 4 minutes or so.
Against a Stanford club that has been really prolific at putting up goals early. Stanford owns the Pac-12's top scoring offense. They average 5 goals a game. They're third nationally. 15 goals so far this season. 6 nationally, leads the Pac-12. Some of that a little skewed because of the competition that they have played with the 7-0 win over CSUN, the 6-0 win over San Diego State, but still have to complete it and put the ball into the back of the net.
He plays in front of you. I agree, and that goes back to what I was talking about a little bit earlier, where this is really the first time that Stanford, we talked about Duke getting tested, this is the first time Stanford will be tested this year and really have to play a clean game to get a result. They could get away with a B- effort against a couple of those teams they've already taken on this year and come away with a victory. That's not going to be the case here at Koskinen Stadium tonight.
And another throw-in coming for the Blue Devils. Katie Groff to toss it in. Really came on last year for the Blue Devils. Versatile player.
And talking to Coach Robbie Church, Katie Groff, Emily Royson, as they've gotten better, so has this Duke defense. There are 2 players that increased their role a year ago and seeing a lot more time this season.
This one punched ahead for Graham. Settles, looks for an angle, and now again, Pluck unable to handle that ball. Stanford able to possess the ball for really one of the first times tonight, but again, too much pace on that pass and unable to track it down was Abby Grubel.
Yeah, rarity there. Grubel, a heavy touch, just dribbled it right across the sideline into her own bench. Cardinal haven't quite gotten their feet under them at this point. Give it away, though, there by Pluck.
This is a Stanford team that traveled in on Wednesday, so not feeling any effects of the cross-country trip, you would not imagine, as Ruthie Jones will get a chance to settle things down for Duke. And nearly a misplay there for the Blue Devils, but fortunately for Duke, a chance to settle things in the middle third. Stanford with some pressure.
Saw Sophie Jones on the ball there for the first time. You want to talk about some connections to the Stanford program. Half the student athletes on the roster for the Cardinal have played with Sophie Jones one way or the other.
Knows Stanford head coach Paul Ratcliffe very well. Spoke very highly of Sophie Jones in our conversation yesterday. What a great player she is, what a great person. Comes from a great family. And a throw-in coming here for the Blue Devils. Speaking of Paul Ratcliffe, the head coach of Stanford, he is in his 19th season, 24th overall. Look at those credentials. 3 national championships, 5 college cups, 9 Pac-12 titles, Pac-12 Coach of the Year 9 different times. Boy, 2 really good coaches going at it tonight.
329 wins to 58 losses.
Cooper trying to outrun the defense. And Cooper taken down just outside of the box, but no foul. We play on.
Coach Ratcliffe talked about how athletic Kennedy Wesley is. She showed it there. There are not a lot of center backs that can keep step for step with Cooper, but she was able to there.
And now Stanford an opportunity. And this one just wide of the cage. It was Kitahara, the freshman, trying to make an impact, but we'll get an opportunity here for the Cardinal with their first corner of the afternoon.
Yeah, nothing there on the tackle, got all ball first. Migley found herself in a bad situation, nearly tugged on the jersey, was able to recreate the angle. Challenged well for the ball in the end. A misplay there, and it could have been a penalty awarded to Stanford, and that would have been very much against the run of play instead of set piece.
Stanford flicks one in and headed down, not quite out of harm's way. The Cardinal able to keep it back in as a shot chipped high of the cage off the foot of Sierra Inge.
Yeah, not out of a dangerous area by any stretch. Graham attentive there, playing her role to perfection. Much better from Stanford here the last few minutes.
And a sigh of relief perhaps from Robbie Church, the head coach of the Blue Devils in his 21st season at Duke, 36-year overall, fresh off of a contract extension that will keep him in Durham for several more years.
Well-deserved, of course, for Coach Church. 260 wins on the sidelines at Duke. He's got 443 wins in his career. Over 100 of those on the men's side, 334 on the women's side.
Now it's Stanford here, applying some pressure to the Blue Devils. This is Pluck. Bodie there to help. And the Blue Devils wanting a foul, but we continue to play on. Certainly feels like after Duke might have had the advantage early in this match, it's been Stanford the last couple of minutes, Ryan, that's been the more aggressor of the two teams.
The Cardinals have settled in here. Absolutely.
Settled. Now again, this is Breedy. And nobody home as she tried to make a run in there.
Migley doing a nice job there, fulfilling her defensive responsibilities as a wide player.
Doms, who can certainly shoot from distance.
Yeah, she can go at people as well, draws a lot of attention.
This is Williams, who had that one pinballed down. Looks like it was Delaney Graham that got in there, and now Sophie Jones the other way for Duke. Cooper. Now Delaney Graham, but a nice step-through move that time by Stanford and Pagador.
Read nicely that time by the freshman.
Nearly 10 minutes gone in our opening half. What's your assessment of the first 10 minutes of this one?
Blue Devils certainly the better team out of the gates, but Stanford has gotten on the ball a little bit more here in the last few minutes. Just feel like they've found their footing. Sometimes it's just that simple. It's not a lack of confidence. A couple of loose touches there at the start. This is a really proud program. I know they had a down year last year, but this is a chance to prove to themselves and everybody else that they're right back where they're used to being at the top of college soccer.
Michelle Cooper trying to ink behind the defense. Able to get a boot on it, battling here with Gurma, and it's Gurma who will usher that one aside.
It's a big-time matchup between the freshman and the senior. Two really class players.
We talked about Gurma missing all of last year with an injury, decided to come back. Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. Third team All Pac-12 and all freshman team to her accolades as well.
Yeah, wears one of the captain's armbands.
Delaney Graham trying to track this one down, but too much air underneath it, and a goal kick coming for the Cardinal.
Graham is such an interesting player for Duke. She's played as a forward, a wide player. She's been on the back line for Coach Robbie Church, third team All-ACC. One of the more versatile players you'll see all season, can run for days. You'll see her try to get up and down the field, loves to get forward, send a ball across.
And has had some impactful goals for the Blue Devils as well. Scored the game winner against Boston College last year. In the fall season for the Blue Devils. Remember the ACC playing some matches in the fall and some in the spring, unlike the Pac-12 that played entirely in the spring. And with a young club that Stanford had, allows them to build some depth for this season. A more normal-like schedule for the Cardinal and the rest of college soccer. This is Grubel. Now out toward the wide side, Stanford looking to attack. Nice job by Katie Groff battling, but a corner kick won for the Cardinal. This will be just the 8th corner that Duke has allowed this season.
Breedy, third team All Pac-12, creates the opportunity here. Looking to take Groff 1v1. Groff was up to the task, but a corner kick is the result.
And it's Grubel who will provide the service. Ball in. Cooper able to get ahead on it, but Grubel will settle and sling one into the box that the Blue Devils are able to get out of harm's way for the moment.
Cooper all the way back into the center of the 18-yard box. Defensively for Duke. It was Duke that was connecting passes. Remember, we said both of these teams are going to try to possess the ball. It was the Blue Devils. They were able to do that early on. Now it's been Stanford. Everything for Duke has been a little bit more direct here. Don't know if that's intentional or not, or if it's just the only thing they feel like they can do. Good pressure there from Breedy.
Forces Royson to work one back to Ruthie Jones.
Yeah, nothing simple for Duke right now. Everything's challenged. And there, again, a little bit more of a hopeful ball instead of the more possession-oriented style that the Blue Devils like to play. It results in a throw-in for Duke, but that's more the product of luck than anything else.
Cooper targeted there, trying to win the ball up for Bodie, but a quartet of Cardinal surrounding the Blue Devils. Boy, the Blue Devils had Migley open and a chance to run on the wide side of the field, but unable to get the ball that way. Seems like a lot of that is credit to Stanford and what they've been able to do from a pressure standpoint. And a missed touch there by Bodie.
Heard both coaches talk about not allowing the opponent to turn and face upfield. There were two really good examples. You and I had a chance to call the Western Carolina game together, and it was true that game as well. Two instances in a row there. I think it was Jones and then might have been Bodie. They had to play the ball back right where it came from. Even on their own side of midfield, Stanford is not allowing the Blue Devils to turn and face.
And Jones taken down, but it looks like they'll get the foul here on the Blue Devils. So a great opportunity for Stanford just outside of the 18-yard box to maybe make the first dent in the scoreboard.
Yeah, a very dangerous place on the field here for Stanford. Looks like it'll be Grubel again, standing over the ball.
And Robbie Church voicing his displeasure as Jones taken down there, but our officials feeling like Jones was more of the aggressive player. She commits the foul, and now Grubel punches one in that's headed away by the Blue Devils, and possession retained by the Cardinal, trying to use that touch line as an extra offensive player. And the Cardinal again win the corner. It was Caitlin Cosme that was trying to win the possession for Duke. And already now the third corner of this opening half for Stanford.
Grubel's been busy on the set-piece service. No real short option here for the Cardinal.
Maybe a little too much weight there from Grubel.
Yeah, not what she intended there. Pressure continues, though, for Stanford.
One of the things that Coach Ratcliffe told us is they want possession with a purpose. They can run when they want to run, but also want to be tactical about how they go about things. Certainly feels like Stanford has achieved that mission here the last several minutes of possessing with a purpose.
When you have a lot of the ball, it then becomes your choice as to how you want to play it. If you're not seeing the ball very often, you start to get sped up a little bit where you think, well, I better take advantage of this one opportunity while we have it. Maybe you do something a little more directly than you intended. Get a little more impatient. Cardinal dictating terms here the last few minutes, certainly. See if Jones can get on the ball a bit more for Duke. She's so good in the build. It's why they have her playing more of a holding role this year. She needs to be the one in a situation like this, the All-American, calm things down for Duke. Start to direct traffic. You'll see that a lot with her. As soon as she passes the ball, she'll point to where the next ball should go. A chance for her to take a little pressure off her teammates, maybe.
And such a valuable asset for the Duke coaching staff to have someone like that, a coach on the field, if you will.
And talented as well. Not only the soccer IQ, but the technicality. Here she is. And there you see, pointing, telling Pluck to get upfield.
Has Delaney Graham on the wing. This is Graham. Back for Pluck, inside the 18, looking for an angle. Pluck toward the touchline, and a nice slide tackle there by Naomi Gurma, the 2019 Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's not your average defender. Mackenzie Pluck so often right there is able to turn the corner, send a ball across. That is a senior with some pedigree with Gurma. Right there, most defenders are beaten. That's it. That's the end of that, and the cross is coming. Gurma able to recover.
Now service in. Cooper tried to get ahead on it, then had a chance at another opportunity, but it was Stanford who gets the ball out of harm's way, and a Cardinal is a little slow inside the 6-yard box. And I believe, Ryan, that is Kennedy Wesley, who is the Cardinal that is down.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything malicious here. It was Cooper trying to follow up on the play. Spikes got into Wesley just a bit. We've already called her name a couple of times. Those two have gotten together. Cooper was the one who made the initial contact, and then she was following up on the play.
Wesley, the 2019 Pac-12 freshman team member, able to stay in. Nearly 20 minutes gone in our opening stanza. Both clubs have had looks, but nobody able to really take advantage so far.
Nothing really, really dangerous for either side yet, but they both had, as you said before, some half chances. What a good sign for Coach Ratcliffe, though, seeing Gurma off to the start she's at here this evening.
Ruthie Jones off her line to play this.
And anytime you miss an entire season with injury, you never know how long it's going to take somebody to find their rhythm. Mackenzie Pluck, one of the better 1v1 attacking players in the early portion of the season, and Gurma equal to the task.
It's been a fun matchup to watch as this game has unfolded. It'll be fun to watch as the rest of the contest plays itself out. This is Pluck. Working hard there, and it was Pluck that was unable to win the possession as Paige Rubenstein, the junior from Davis, California, wins the ball for the Cardinal. A lot of weight on the passes from Stanford. Paglador. And now works it back to Gurma. You talked earlier about Stanford's possession, and if you're Duke and you haven't seen the ball a lot, it tends to make you speed up. Do you feel like the Blue Devils are speeding up a little bit when they get possession?
Yeah, and some of that, though, like on that last play right there, Duke would love to settle that ball down and build from the back. Instead, Royson's forced to play it 30, 40 yards ahead. Obviously, the first thing is you have to clear the danger. You've got to get the ball out of your end if you don't think you have another option. And it's been good on Stanford's part in making Duke feel as if they don't have the options.
Sophie Jones, and batted down nicely by Gurma. Bodie trying to win the possession. But it's the Cardinal who funnel one ahead, but a throw in coming now for Duke.
Yeah, we're more than 20 minutes in now. Everybody fully into the game at this point. Haven't seen a substitute yet. It's a nice switch of fields there for the Cardinal.
And now Driven trying to get behind the defense. Nice run there for Stanford and Williams, but it'll be the Cardinal who are able to keep it in for the moment, and a really nice hustle play there from Stanford.
Two long diagonal balls for Stanford, covered about 60 yards of the field.
Duke able to create the turnover, and now some room to operate for the Blue Devils. Tess Bodie has Cooper. Cooper trying to track it down.
She had Mackenzie Pluck, is who she had, and Mackenzie Pluck knew it.
And that one batted off of a Cardinal and will result in the corner for the Blue Devils.
Duke breaking out, I think it was about 3-on-5, yeah. And if you said you get a corner kick out of that, I think you'd feel pretty good, but Mackenzie Pluck, she was there. Bodie elected to go to Cooper, obviously not a bad option, but Pluck was in free one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Second corner of the night for Duke. This is Pluck. Nobody home for Duke. Flared back into the box. Here's Cooper with it, and Cooper puts in another. It's her 5th of the season, and it's the Blue Devils on the back of the phenomenal freshman who strike first.
Well, it's that 3-on-5 build that ultimately results in the goal. So in the end, Duke gets what they want. Cooper is just spectacular. Coach Robbie Church said she was special. Talked to him before the season even started. She has been absolutely incredible. Wesley, unfortunate there. That one bounces away from her. The composure that Cooper has in the box always seems to put the ball on frame, at least make the goalie work for it. Many times there's not a whole lot they can do.
Certainly feels as though Cooper plays well above her years.
She's got 5 goals now in 4+ games. This is, again, the schedule that Duke has played. They're basically playing an NCAA tournament field so far in 2021. Arkansas, Washington, at Vanderbilt, and Stanford are 4 of the 5 games.
Stanford on the aggression now, trying to get the equalizer. Instead, the Blue Devils forcing it back out toward the midfield as Cooper gets tangled up there with Pagliador.
That's something to me that separates Cooper as well. She has the technical skill, she has the savvy in the box, but she's a tenacious ball winner. She is not afraid to go and get the ball.
Nobody home for Stanford on the cross.
So many times with goal scorers, they just want to be given the ball. She has no problem getting it herself.
Bodie now toward Pluck. Played this one for Delaney Graham. Duke does not have the numbers here as Graham tries to serve that one in. It's batted away off the body of Pagliador and corralled by the keeper Meyer.
It was an innocuous beginning just like last time. Plenty of Cardinal jerseys back behind the ball.
Does the strategy or the way that Stanford approaches the match change now, being down 1-0?
Nah, too early for that, I think. Still a load of time left in this half, much less the game. I don't think Coach Ratcliffe will be bothered. Certainly doesn't want to be down 1-0, but no panic button just yet. Now, if there were 15 minutes left in the game,
sure,
might be a little different story.
This is Cooper. And now Pluck. Pressure from behind there on Pluck. It was Grubel providing the trouble for Duke. And a nice switch of field that time by the Blue Devils. Royson with a juke move, if you will. And too much there for Pluck on that chip, maybe a little heavy as she tried to float one ahead for Delaney Graham. The fancy dribbling by Royson. And now the throw in for the Cardinal. Just as quickly, it's Duke who wins the possession. Cooper now for Graham.
It's a good job by Groff there. Wasn't the greatest pass.
Cooper drives one, but wide of the frame.
Most times you would say that's a bit ambitious.
Not for her.
Not for 18. She has scored a number of goals from that 20 to 25 yard range already this year.
The first sub of the match for the Cardinal, Amy Sayer, the sophomore from Sydney, Australia. Not bad when you can bring an all-conference performer off of your bench, as Sayer was a season ago for Coach Radcliffe's club. Member of the Australian national team as well. She's actually played with the national team.
You mentioned the depth for Stanford. You're looking at 2 of the 3 teams in the country here tonight that have made the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament 7 out of the last 10 years. That's the kind of consistent excellence these 2 programs bring. The only other one is Florida State.
And if you look at the series history between these 2 clubs, not often that they meet in a regular season. They are mostly in the College Cup in a quarterfinal. It's very rare to get a matchup of this caliber in early September.
2011 was the national final.
Yes. And the only win for the Blue Devils in the series, September 13th, 1996, a regular season victory in Chapel Hill as part of the North Carolina Classic. This is the first time Stanford has come to Durham for a regular season bout since 1990. Take a look at the history here. Last meeting was the 2015 quarterfinals as the Cardinal with an opportunity, and that wide of Ruthie Jones. It was a nice look that time by Samantha Williams, who came, I beg your pardon, it was Grubel who came crashing in and had to look for the Cardinal.
Yeah, Grubel didn't have anybody else making the run with her. I don't know if she thought she would and if that was intended to be played across the 6-yard box or if she was trying to go far post against Jones.
And almost appeared to be a whiff there, just couldn't get a whole lot of pace on that half chance, if you will.
Yeah, ultimately would have liked to do better, come away with something more than that as Bailey Brewster has come on. She's played quite a bit of time here in her freshman season, early portion of the year.
Lily Nabet also checking in for Duke. So we're seeing both sides go into their depth now. And that's one of the things that Duke head coach Robbie Church talked about. It's not just the depth that Duke has, but it's the quality of the depth.
Nabet's somebody that brings a ton of experience off the bench.
Good problem to have for Duke and probably for Stanford as well. Not enough minutes to go around for all of the quality players.
Yeah, Nabet, Cosme, and Bodie coming into the season, 112 wins, over 12,000 minutes played for that trio. Decided to come back and use their super senior year, if you will.
Williams tries to serve one in. A couple of Cardinal are there, and Ruthie Jones able to pick this one up as Groff went down, but we play on. Shots favor Stanford 3-2, but Duke has had the only shot on net. It was the goal by Michelle Cooper nearly 7 minutes ago that gave the Blue Devils the current 1-0 lead.
I like that there from Brewster. Even if Duke hadn't won the throw, which they did, she looked back at Jones, realized that was probably not going to be a good option. A Cardinal player was crashing in, decided to turn it toward the sideline, take it away from danger. The freshman making the mature play there and was eventually rewarded for doing so, as Duke will possess.
Brewster to toss it in, and the throw in won by the Cardinal. Stanford with another substitution. Julia Latini in. Latini, one of those players that will come off the bench for Stanford, and in the words of Paul Ratcliffe, provide an immediate spark, some fresh legs, a chance to turn the game around. And this is Latini now. Leaves one back for Paglador. And now Duke's pressure forces Stanford back to the middle third and forces the turnover as well.
That's all effort there from Tess Bodie. Unfortunate on the disconnect, but Bodie just outworking Gurma there to earn the ball.
Flick toward the middle. Doms trying to leak behind the defense. Instead, a drive into the box. Stanford trying to keep it in, and they do.
Impressive speed there by Sayer.
Kerbal headed away. And another nice ball by Sophie Jones just to get it out of harm's way for a moment. But the Cardinal really attacking here, looking for that equalizer as we tick down toward the final 13 minutes of the half. Service in, near post, and Jones able to make the stop.
Yeah, Jones had to come back near post, playing that ball as if it was going to be a cross. It was on target. Jones had to be careful not to leak out in front of the goal too far. I doubt that's what Grubel had in mind, but it was labeled.
Now a 50-50 ball, settled by the Blue Devils for the moment. Jones.
Better from Duke, combining passes here.
The bet tried to flutter one in for Cooper. Instead, it's Stanford trying to connect some passes here. Sayer.
That's what I mean by not allowing your attacking player to turn. Brewster, offensive side of midfield, refusing to let Sayer face the goal.
And how about this matchup with Doms now going against Cooper? Two prolific goal scorers, battling it out now on the defensive side for Cooper.
That long diagonal ball has been there for Stanford.
Grubel picks it up, and a nice step-through move that time by the Blue Devils.
Graham, former defender, good in the 1v1.
Doms, and down to a knee is Jones to play another.
Played that well off the short hop, not to give up a rebound in that scenario.
Jones, the junior keeper for the Blue Devils, has come up big a couple of times tonight. Jones has not faced a ton of shots this year entering play tonight. Teams just over 4 shots per game against the Blue Devils. Speaks to how good that Duke defense has been. No call, we play on. Certainly it feels as though our officials have let this game play a little more.
Yeah, Brewster got the ball first there. It's a clean challenge. Been impressed by Brewster, the start of her career. Duke has some really good options along that back line.
You mentioned Brewster in the start to her career. She's had a phenomenal start, but it's been overshadowed a little bit by her freshman counterpart in Michelle Cooper. A Cardinal, by the way, slow to get up in the midfield.
It's Wesley.
And now Cooper trying to challenge here. It's Cooper going to work against Gurma. Cooper now for Graham, and a takedown from behind, but the corner awarded to the Blue Devil.
Yeah, it's ball first for Pagador once again. I think the calls have been good for the official. Wesley is going to need about 13 bags of ice after this game. She has had some physical encounters with Michelle Cooper, who is a physical player. Closer than I thought.
Third corner of the match for the Blue Devils. Wesley a bit hobbled as she heads toward the bench. Brandt, the freshman, in for Stanford, and boy, if Meyer, or beg your pardon, if Wesley is unable to continue, that is a huge loss for Stanford.
And now Duke brings Mary Kate McGuire on the field for Cooper, and the Blue Devils bringing a player off the bench that has 16 career goals.
Tess Bodie with the service. Plays it short for Sophie Jones.
Little training ground play for the Blue Devils there.
And Stanford wins the throw-in. Never a bad thing when you can bring someone off the bench that has 16 career tallies.
And the experience as well. 33 starts for McGuire.
Led the team in goals in 2019. Had 21 points that year to finish third on the squad.
And she can hold the play up really well.
Final 10 minutes of the half. What do you feel like both of these head coaches want to see as we wind down this opening half of play?
I have a feeling Coach Radcliffe wouldn't mind seeing a goal here in the last 10 minutes. That's the easy one.
Outside of that.
I think it's to get back to some of the possession game that was earning them some opportunities throughout portions of this first half. That diagonal ball has been a really good one for them. Grubel is available in that capacity again, instead going square to Pagador. It's been one of the few ways that Stanford has been able to make inroads
And
Coach Robbie Church, I think you just got to find a way to get this 1-0 to halftime. To give up a goal here in the final 10 minutes would be a little deflating. Of course, if you can make it 2-0, that's all the better.
That's one of the things that Robbie Church has talked about. He's liked the start for his club, but Duke has not scored a ton of goals in the first half this year. Most of Duke's offense has come in the second stanza, so has to be pleased with the early offense from his club tonight.
4 goals now in the first half this year, all 4 scored by Cooper. And they're just dominating opponents in half number 2. 10-1 in favor of the Blue Devils. So a good sign for Duke. This is supposedly their worst half, if you will. And they've got a 1-0 lead. We haven't called Dom's name a ton. You asked what Coach Ratcliffe would want to see. Got to get number 10 on the ball a bit more.
Does some of that credit go to the Blue Devils for taking away some of her strengths tonight?
Yeah, but if you're a player like Dom's, you have to make yourself available. You're too important to your team to be shut off, regardless of what the other team is trying to do.
Paglador now out toward the middle of the field, where Inge tries to set things up for the Cardinal. Chipped away. Cardinal win the throw-in deep in their attacking third.
There's that long diagonal ball again. This time trajectory was just a bit off, but the concept, same concept.
Sophie Jones now in the middle for Duke. Jones takes a tumble. Duke keeps the possession. Bodie now for Delaney Graham, but a couple of Cardinal defenders there, and Grubel grabs the possession for Stanford before the Blue Devils usher it away, and the Cardinal with the throw-in. Settled nicely. And with Tenney unable to get any sort of momentum moving for the Cardinal. Tenney again. A lot of white jerseys surround her as Grubel flares one toward the top of the 18-yard box. Nobody home for Stanford. And back out for the Cardinal, who try to attack again.
That's a nice step there. Groff having none of it.
We've called Groff's name a lot tonight, having a whale of a defensive first half. As that ball into the box. Settled.
Somebody else making the run for the Cardinal, though.
And now it's settled. That one batted down. Stanford asking for a handball.
Yeah, Duke playing with fire there. Poor clearance and then nearly a handball. Cardinal protesting that it should be a penalty awarded. And it was Doms, of all people, turning it over to her on the top of the 18-yard box. Blue Devils lucky. Cardinal didn't make more of that opportunity.
Now Brewster through the midfield. Leaves one off for Bodie. And now Delaney Graham draws a crowd. Nice pass by Jones. Right back to Bodie, who settles it near the touchline. Play kept alive for Delaney Graham. And looking at the top of the 18-yard box, but nobody home for the Blue Devils as Mary-Kate McGuire tried to shake free. Final 5 minutes of the first half from Koskinen Stadium in Durham.
Here's where McGuire, defender on her back.
McGuire takes a tumble. They play on. Bodie, left-footed service. Nobody in for the Blue Devils.
All kinds of time for Tess Bodie in a dangerous area.
Now Graham perhaps looking for an angle here.
Speed on speed here.
Graham toward the near post, ushered aside by Stanford. No clearance for the Cardinal. It's a throw in for Duke.
Sturdy touch, though, for Germa there. Don't mess around with it. Just block it away. Take a full swing there, and who knows what happens.
McGuire through a double team. Now Bodie. Here's Graham again. Good ball in. And right on the cage, an opportunity for the Blue Devils, a bit of a half chance, but an easy save made by Katie Meyer.
Simmons was there for Duke. That, of course, better service that time for Delaney Graham.
And now Stanford with less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Cardinal looking for the equalizer. Certainly have not played poor, have had some opportunities. But credit to Duke's defense here in the first 45 minutes.
Opportunistic. Cooper has been that throughout her short career here in Durham. I think at the time you mentioned it was Duke's only shot on goal.
It was. Throw in one by the Blue Devils. Stanford, meanwhile, has 4 shots. Only one of them on target. McGuire plays one ahead. Now Delaney Graham forced to build the attack again for the Blue Devils. Lily Nabet now to Bailey Brewster.
That's, to me, what Doms needs to do a bit more. Come back to the ball, make yourself a target. Bodie's done that on a number of occasions here for Duke.
And now that we are within 3 minutes of closing down this first half, if you're Robbie Church, really feels like this is the time where you can't allow one of those late half goals, doesn't it?
Yeah, the closer and closer you get to halftime, that ball's going to stay in bounds, I think. No, eventually rolls out. Yeah, the closer you get to halftime, the more devastating it is to concede for either team. 2-0 Duke would hurt just as much for Stanford as 1-1 would for the Blue Devils.
And this one all the way back to Meyer, who settles and surveys. Gurma. And Duke forcing the Cardinal to play it back to the keeper again. Dumped ahead, headed down. Cardinal keep possession. Sayer was perhaps looking for Grubel to make a run there, but too much air underneath that one. Cardinal, though, keep the throw in.
We saw that Duke back line drop in behind, willing to concede the touch to Doms as long as it was in front of them. It was an area that Coach Robbie Church said that got to protect the space in behind our back line.
75 seconds for the game's opening stanza. Blue Devils not in a huge hurry here, deep in their defensive third. McGuire through a double team. Chance for the Cardinal to make another run here with a minute to go in the half. Tried to get that one to Paglador, who eventually gets there, but boy, a ball that was telegraphed a little bit. Blue Devils could not come up to play it. This is Inge keeping it alive. Now Paglador. Left-footed service toward the top of the 18-yard box, headed in. Duke unable to get the clearance here. Stanford still able to keep the possession. Grubel. And now with 20 seconds remaining, do the Cardinal have time to get the equalizer here? A drive toward Jones, who makes the easy pick, and that should take us to the end of the first half.
Yeah, I don't mind that from Angie at the end there. Cardinal working the ball around, but running out of time, just puts that one on frame. Never know what could happen. 1-0 Blue Devils at halftime.
It's Michelle Cooper who gets the scoring started for Duke. Her 5th career goal in the first half, as the Blue Devils will head to the locker room with a 1-0 advantage. Stay with us. We'll have halftime coverage from Durham in this top 10 matchup coming up right after this. You're watching ACC Women's.
On then go. Attack with speed. I don't know if I've seen a whole lot of that, and it maybe because it's just not been on, but do you maybe press? Do you force the issue here? Give the Blue Devil defense something to think about, and for Duke on that defensive back line, the balance, maintaining the balance. Sag off, don't allow Stanford to get in behind, but also pressure the ball. Don't allow your attacking player to turn. That is a hard thing to do. It's hard to do both of those. Blue Devils did a nice job with it in the first 45 minutes of this game.
It's Stanford who gets the first touch of the second half. Cardinal looking for the equalizer. And Ryan, in this contest, we know how early in the game, in the contest, you have that feeling out process. So Stanford, a nice ball in, but nobody home for the Cardinal. Duke looking for the clearance. Not yet. Stanford with an opportunity. There's a drive that's headed away nicely by Duke. And it's been Stanford who's come out and been the more aggressive team off this opening touch. But in the second half, is it another feeling out process for these two clubs after the adjustments that were made at the break?
Potentially, because we'll see if teams do make any adjustments, and then there'll be that time where you have to adjust to the adjustments. For now, the Cardinal couldn't ask for a better start. Right away, pressure on the Blue Devil back line.
Grubel had a really nice first half, had some great opportunities. This is a drive from Pagliador that's high and wide of the cage, and the goal kick coming. We talked about it in the first half. Grubel, Doms, the two prolific scorers for Stanford, combined for 8 goals already this season. How do the Cardinals get them involved in what they want to do offensively?
Well, just first of all, real quick, Pagliador I thought settled there a little bit. I thought there was more available in that opportunity for Stanford, but a lot of it is making yourself available. Here's Doms on the ball right now.
And leaves one off for Williams. She's looking for an angle perhaps. Williams had that one deflected nicely by a Blue Devil. Good defensive play again by Emily Royson.
Yeah, Williams can play either the right or left side. Here she is working down the right side of the field against Royson.
Well, wins the corner kick as well. That'll be Grubel who will take the corner, the 4th of the contest for the Cardinal. You wonder if maybe Stanford looks for Doms to shake free here.
Good to see Kennedy Wesley back on the field for Stanford.
Grubel. Far post, punched out by Jones. No clearance yet for the Blue Devils. There's Cooper to try to help.
Jones had really run to the wrong spot there, but was able to backtrack and get a nice two-handed punch on the ball. It's an area that she continues to try to improve, tracking the ball in the air.
Cooper nearly got a boot on that one. Instead, the Cardinal win the possession. Here's Doms.
Angie did well to work through 3 Blue Devils there, including Pluck and Cooper, to keep possession for Stanford.
Doms into the corner. Ferries one toward the middle of the field. Now Pagliador. And a turnover. Stanford all the way back to the midfield with Germa.
A really nice start to the second half for Angie.
Rubenstein able to reverse the point of attack here. Looking for Doms, but unable to connect. Duke unable to clear. Blue Devils have been unable to gain the possession as we start this second half of play. Now Rubenstein again. Ball now being played really in the middle third as Pluck tries to get free of a couple of defenders. Has Cooper there with her, but not a lot of white shirts around there for the Blue Devils.
Mackenzie Pluck is always in attack mode. Didn't have the numbers there, but tried to force the issue. She's been successful with that on a number of occasions this year.
And Ruthie Jones wants to settle things down for Duke. Breedy up to provide a little challenge.
Nice step there for Pagliador.
Pagliador's really played a nice second half. Even just 5 minutes in, has been very impactful for the Cardinal. And another throw-in coming here for the Blue Devils. Nearly 5 minutes gone. It's the adjustments to the adjustments, but it's certainly been Stanford who has been a team that has come out with a lot more fire, it appears, to start this second half.
Yeah, it's been Sierra Angie for me that's been a big reason why the Cardinal have had a lot of the ball here to start the second half. She's such a good support player for Doms and Grubel. Second team All-Pacific region.
And what do the Blue Devils have to do, Ryan, to sort of change the trajectory of this second half?
I like that play right there, actually. Nabet going back to Jones, that distribution not on target, but the idea of let's try to settle and possess a little bit as opposed to banging it out to the midfield line like they had on a number of occasions, forcing Pluck and Cooper to try to make something out of it. That was a little bit more of a let's try to build something, but the pass from Jones didn't allow for it.
Off the foot of Doms, out toward the midfield. Cooper trying to reverse direction, misplayed that one. Nice play there by the Blue Devils to step through.
It was nice by Wesley as well to win the ball back. Looked like Simmons was going to come away with that. With Wesley out of position, she knew it. What a move.
Into the 18 and a drive that's high.
Nice little step over there.
Terrific play by Kiyahata, the freshman.
Had her first 2 career goals against San Diego State. Look at the extra gear here. This is Delaney Graham, all ACC talent. Just leaves her behind. Only thing there for the freshman, Kiyahata has to get that on frame. You've got to make Ruthie Jones make a save there or play something to your teammate. Really impressive run, though, for the Hillsborough, California native.
How about the lineage in Kiyahata's family? Her grandfather was on the Olympic swimming team in 1944, and her great-grandfather was a professional soccer player for the Netherlands in the 1920s.
Similar athletic pedigree to the two of us here.
Absolutely.
Other than, you know, the Olympic athlete part of it.
If you want to talk the Olympics, talk about these two programs. Olympians galore. Cooper looking for some help, batted down, kept alive by Simmons.
Good defending from Wesley. That's good scouting, that's good understanding your opposition. A lot of people would just give Cooper lay off there for fear that she might beat them with pace. Wesley knows that Cooper can pull the trigger from that distance and knows that she has the speed to stay with her. Really good stuff there from the junior.
Now Sophie Jones. And it comes all the way back to Katie Groff, who played a really nice first half for Duke. Feathered in. Cooper trying to shake free. Duke asking.
Offside flag was up.
Yes. Blue Devils were asking for a handball there. Instead, it's the offside flag against the Blue Devils.
Wesley's never been so happy to see a flag raised. That was awkward. Cooper bearing down, but offsides.
Stanford surviving a little bit of a Duke charge, the first that we've seen from the Blue Devils in this second half.
That's too casual there. It's given away.
And a left-footed drive just high of the cage. Another great opportunity for the Blue Devils, but a little high for Mackenzie Pluck.
Yeah, I don't mind that from Pluck. Obviously, she's got to get that on goal, but totally unsettled situation. Meyer was off her line. Meyer really just sort of caught there. Need to be more decisive in your own third if you're the Cardinal. The Blue Devils pressuring the ball. Cooper, hard challenge there.
We talked a moment ago, Ryan, about the pedigree from an international standpoint. Look at the Olympians from the Tokyo Games. Stanford, USA, New Zealand. Obviously Quinn representing Canada. Michelle Cooper representing the Blue Devils here, as that one knocked down nicely by Gurma. And then the clearance for Stanford leads to the throw in for Duke.
You just never know what to expect from Cooper. I think that's one of the more I see her, it's her unpredictability that makes her so hard to defend. I mean, clearly she has a ton of talent, but you don't know if she's going to stop and pull from 25 yards, if she's going to try to beat you off the dribble, she's going to lay it off to a teammate, back to goal, try to turn you and shoot. Just has so much in the arsenal, it's hard to decide how to play her.
Nice step-through move there by the Blue Devils, and that one goes all the way back to Meyer. And to your point, a lot of arrows in the quiver for Michelle Cooper. And we were talking about it during halftime off the air, just how unselfish she is. First career assist against Vanderbilt last time out for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that's the problem, is even if you have her well defended, she can find the open player and make the intelligent play as well.
One of those players that's not afraid to go after the ball in a defensive side of things.
And tackles hard.
The turnover there by Duke, but the Blue Devils able to get it back with Katie Groff.
It's a good recovery. Nice use of the shoulder there for Groff.
And now Stanford with Wesley will try to build the attack. Stanford's had a couple looks at it. Blue Devils are looking at an attack here. This is Nabet. Plays one for Cooper, who's onside, and Cooper misses high. A rare miss from the freshman.
That is absolutely rare. Meyer just hoping for something like that to happen. What a ball from Lily Nabet. She gives the Blue Devils such toughness in the center of the field. How about that pass? Perfectly weighted. Cooper, all kinds of options, maybe too many. And just airmails that one in the parking lot.
And as the moments tick away, it's those missed opportunities that become increasingly bigger for these two clubs.
Well, for somebody like Cooper, she'll remember that a lot more than she'll remember the goal she scored earlier. 2-0 would have been a very different ask of the Cardinal. Instead, just one opportunity away from tying it now. Nabet has come on and done very well for Coach Church, earning the start here in the second half.
And now Stanford with the pressure creates the turnover. Rubenstein funnels one in, nobody home for the Cardinal, but stepping through is Doms. Nice coverage on her not to allow Doms to get free. And then chaperoned away across the middle third for the Blue Devils. We talked about it in the first half. This is a matchup that you're likely to see in the quarterfinals, perhaps in the College Cup, and certainly has that same intensity as the second half gets going. Cooper, a nice step through that time by the Cardinal. And now Stanford the other way.
Look at Cooper closing down on the defender. Nice ball. Jones retreating, a little bit of a miscommunication there.
And Brady barreling down on her.
I think Cosme was expecting her to come out to the top of the 18-yard box. There you see the fist bump there. Those two were on slightly different pages, but got there quick enough.
Take another glance.
I think Cosme was expecting, you see how she was shielding off the player. I think she was expecting Jones to be right there, and Ruthie Jones had taken 3 or 4 steps back toward her goal line.
A break for the Blue Devils, as this one played all the way back to Katie Meyer. What a match this has been. What a great test in the early season for these two clubs that, on paper, appear to be destined for lengthy runs in the NCAA tournament. Good ball here. Royson trying to get there for Duke, and she will shield that one to Ruthie Jones, who punches it away. Cardinal will be tested in a couple of matches this weekend. They will stay in North Carolina. We'll take on the North Carolina Tar Heels on Sunday down the road in Chapel Hill.
Wesley limping a bit as she comes off. She gives way to Avani Brandt.
Remember, Wesley was a bit slow in the first half. Showed some signs of limping there. You wonder if perhaps something nagging as the second half continues.
And she's been the one so often against Cooper. Brandt a bit more slightly built.
Rubenstein toward the top of the 18-yard box. Nobody home. Now Dom's able to settle. She draws a crowd. Dom's working against Nabet there. Plays it off. Some fancy dribbling into the box. Grubel settles this one. Grubel looking near post and chips it short side. It might have been deflected by the Blue Devils. They say it was not, and it'll be a goal kick coming for Ruthie Jones. Another nice look for Grubel.
Yeah, and I thought Kita Hata was really good there as well. She's been on that far side, cut it back, played the service across there. You see it Bit of a misplay there for Royson. Groff there in a supporting role, though.
But some dangerous looks for Stanford. You see the shots on goal even. Certainly feels like the Cardinal have had more opportunities for a chance in the second half. Obviously the Blue Devils missing a great opportunity with Cooper missing the cage.
Stanford's had more chances. Duke's had the best one.
Now Cooper trying to close down the speed, or close down the gap there with some speed.
This is not what you want to see. Brandt just coming on the field.
And off her line, that ball deflected.
This is totally unnecessary if you're Stanford as well. You've brought this on yourself. Just clear the ball. You do not want to be playing with the ball with Cooper bearing down on you.
And now McKenzie plucked through the middle.
Rare foul call in this game.
Will go against the Cardinal. Take another look at Katie Meyer off her line here a moment ago.
That's a half a foot from being deflected into the goal.
Royce Simmons right there for Duke. Just unable to get a flick on it.
Simmons has spent a lot of time as a holding player. Pluck looked like she was held up a bit. Referee playing advantage, though.
Now Cooper at the top of the 18-yard box looking for an angle. This is into the box. Royson delivers the goal for the Blue Devils. No, they wave it off. It's offside.
Yeah, offside flag was up. That's what Cooper can do, though. Royson spends a lot of time in the defensive half of the field, maybe not quite as aware of where she was relative to the back line for Stanford. Cooper, though, always looking around. Has great vision. Textbook, except for the timing of the run.
Second time the Blue Devils have been whistled for an offside this half. And now another near turnover. It's Dom that was trying to leak free. Now Williams. Back for Doms. Doms with some fancy footwork. Tries to drive one toward the 6-yard box. Nobody home there.
And just like a moment ago where Stanford defensively, maybe a couple extra touches. This time it's the Blue Devils.
Ferried in. Cleared out toward the middle third. Cooper trying to win the 50-50 ball, heads it down, and it's Duke the other way. And Pluck, a hard takedown there. Good play by Rubenstein to go right at Pluck. Take one more look at the offside just a moment ago, Ryan, as Duke nearly took the 2-goal advantage.
You watch 15 left of your screen. It looks to be the right call. Stepping behind the last defender. It's a nice finish for Royson.
Royson will come off, spend a moment with head coach Robbie Church. A teaching moment, if you will, for the Blue Devil youngster. Royson, the sophomore. Sophie Jones now forced to play one back. Dangerous ball there, as it was Grubel who was stepping in front. Stanford forced to play this one all the way back to Gurma to build again. Long run here, and unable to settle are the Blue Devils or the Cardinals. It'll be Stanford who wins the throw-in. The Cardinal deep in their attacking third. Rubenstein.
See, I like that from Doms there. She was frustrated. She wanted the ball at her feet, made herself available, and was a little frustrated she didn't get it from her teammate.
Toward the
nice
inline.
Step over.
Nobody home for Stanford, and the clearance for Duke.
That was Quijada again going to that step over move. Clinical. She's been really dangerous for Stanford. That left side.
Quijada has some international experience, caught into action 15 times with the USU 20 team. Blue Devils trying to call up a second goal here. Bodie at the top of the 18-yard box was denied by a couple of Cardinal defenders. And it's Stanford the other way.
It was Cooper again. She was the one that played the ball. Nice job by Brandt to cut off the angle without fouling. After a little bit of an adventure a few minutes ago, Brandt has made a couple of nice plays.
Duke can do the attacking third.
Look out.
Cooper. And ushered aside nicely by Myers. And she will finally fall on it as Katie Meyer tested again.
Anywhere within about 30 yards, Cooper becomes dangerous. It's a nice save in the end by Meyer. May have hit the post, but no way you can take that chance.
A couple of opportunities for Michelle Cooper in this second half. Stanford trying to build another attack, where the Cardinal have really spent a lot of time on this end, and another opportunity results in a goal for Stanford.
How about that? Girma just hammers one upper 90. Talked about how good she is defensively. Defensive Player of the Year a couple of years ago. A threat offensively as well. We're tied at 1 with 24:09 to play. That is an absolute laser. Nothing for Ruthie Jones to do there. And if you're the Cardinal, you're just hanging around, keeping it a 1-0 game. Duke will rue a couple of opportunities they had to make it 2-0. Still plenty of time left in this game for either side to find the lead.
Duke trying to find the lead here off the touch. Cooper couldn't shake free. And now it's Stanford the other way with Rubenstein.
Grace Watkins has come on for the Blue Devils. She's another who's got a cannon for a shot. Clearly, both teams have options in that regard.
So now 23.5 minutes remaining in regulation. What, if anything, changes with the game all square?
I don't know that anything does, because I'm not sure that much changed. Maybe the execution did, but I don't know that much changed in the lead up there. Both teams with opportunities. That'll be advantage, at least temporarily.
It's Grubel who was fouled. And a look here for Stanford, a set-piece opportunity perhaps.
Yeah, Cardinal bench is excited. They know they've got a golden chance here. They've got the momentum. Blue Devils on their heels.
Grubel, who's taken most of the set-piece opportunities for Stanford tonight. With a variety of options here. Right-footed, flared. Headed away for the Blue Devils, but not quite out. And then over the touchline, it results in the corner kick for the Cardinal.
It's always dangerous as a defender when you're facing your goal, running toward your own goal. And that was Delaney Graham there, and it caught up in the body. And lucky for her and the Blue Devils, it was well wide.
And now another opportunity for Grubel. Do you look for Doms in this situation?
I don't know, it looks like Girma's making that run top of the 6-yard box. It was intended for her. That one skips, though, dangerously through the 6. Like Girma. Talk about the down year for the Cardinal. I don't think it's any coincidence that Girma did not participate.
Was injured, missed all of last season, and has done so much for Stanford, has the goal, but has done a lot of the other intangible things for the Cardinal tonight as well.
Yeah, spectacular defensively. You could see the danger she brings on the offensive end of the field. She wears the captain's armband, so clearly a leader.
Matched up with Nabed here as Grubel puts it in play. In front of the cage, Jones there to punch it out. Not cleared, and another drive is knocked down off of a Cardinal.
I think it was Girma, a bit unlucky there for Stanford. That was much more decisive, though, for Jones.
And now nice move on that touchline to keep the ball in. This is Cooper, 1v1. Cooper hurdling a defender, and a foul, and a card.
If you're Pagador, and Stanford and Coach Ratcliffe, I don't know that you mind that. And if you're going to commit to that, if you're Pagador, you have to get either the ball or Cooper. If you launch yourself at the ball in that situation, you've got to come up with something. Otherwise, it's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. You'll take the yellow card in that scenario.
And now a great opportunity for Duke outside of the 18-yard box as we take another glance.
If Pagador doesn't get Cooper, Cooper just jumps over her. You see where the ball was. That's 2-1 Duke. 9 times out of 10. Meyer was still several steps away. So the freshman from Roseville, California, making the play there.
Second yellow issued to Stanford this year. And now a great opportunity for Duke. Blue Devils looking to reclaim the lead. This is Cosme who drives one near post and in! The Blue Devils take the lead!
What a shot! Think these teams are any good? Think there's any individual talent out there on the field right now?
The first of the year for the Duke graduate student.
Crossbar, turf. It's a goal right there. Great shot from our camera down there on the field. And then just for good measure, hits the back of the crossbar and the way back up again. Cosme scored a ton of goals for the Blue Devils last year, had 6 of them to lead the ACC in terms of defenders, as Cooper is shoved down. Interesting. Oh, there's the call. Okay.
Yeah, a tardy call.
Everybody on the field, I was certainly expecting that to be served far post. Got to think that that's what Meyer was thinking as well, but I don't know if there's anything she could have done about that. That shot was absolutely hammered, and it's off the bottom of the crossbar. Consecutive goals from long distance. Cosme has spent so much time as a target player on set pieces. She's so good in the air. Pretty decent off the ground there as well.
Another foul there on Stanford. And perhaps some frustration building now for the Cardinal.
If you're the Cardinal, that's just brutal. You do so much work to equalize. You're back in the game, set piece right afterwards. You have all the momentum. And just like that, a quick ball ahead. Cooper draws the foul. Cosme just buries it.
And a chance for Stanford in a game that we talked about at the top is a litmus test for both of these teams. What does Stanford learn about itself now? 19 minutes to go, down a goal.
Yeah, well, they're going to learn what kind of attitude they have. Are the shoulders slumped? Still got plenty of time in this game. It's a proud program. I don't think we'll see them get rattled in this situation. Too much success.
That one ferried out across the middle third. Stanford unable to catch up to it. Another opportunity for the Blue Devils.
Cardinal have had the most success when they've gone through Kita Hata on the far side, even though she's matched up quite a bit with Delaney Graham.
Through the middle. Duke, of course, looking for that 2-goal advantage. Think of the missed opportunities for Duke in this second half. And you talk about a squad fighting through adversity. If you're Robbie Church and his staff, have to love the way that his club has responded after Stanford gets the equalizer.
I think you're totally right, and this happened against Washington. The Blue Devils were up 1-0 late in that game. The Huskies scored to make it 1-1, and then just a couple of minutes left in regulation. Duke pulls ahead 2-1. Looked for a while that Duke was going to get a result, then all of a sudden, maybe not. Came up with the goods late. Not quite that deep into the game this time, but very similar scenario against even higher quality competition.
Now Stanford in there attacking third.
Here's Kita Hata.
This way it comes for Rubenstein. Grubel trying to shake loose of a defender. Nice job by Groff to step through again. Now the Cardinal. Williams. Right back for Grubel. And now Rubenstein surveys. Flares one in, and it's ushered away by the Blue Devils. And that'll result in a set-piece opportunity here for Stanford in the corner.
Yeah, this is a little unforced for Duke. Bodie gave that ball away, and that's what's created this opportunity for the Cardinal.
It'll be Grubel again, and does Stanford have an answer? 7th corner of the contest for the Cardinal. In front of the cage, and that is on top of the net. So Duke able to survive that opportunity by Stanford. And probably a ball that Grubel may want to have back. It's been a busy second half. It was 1-0 Duke at the break. And then Stanford came out and was able to tie things up just a few moments ago on this blast from Gurma.
Yeah, a couple of incredible individual efforts. Naomi Gurma, Herman Trophy watch list. For the Blue Devils, Caitlin Cosme, who's become a goal-scoring threat in her time at Duke.
Now Grubel, who's also a goal-scoring threat, drives one right on, but a nice play by Jones.
Didn't get all of that one, I don't think. Grubel teed it up on the left foot.
Grubel, the senior from Santa Ana, already 4 goals this year. And now as we dwindle toward the final 16 minutes, still plenty of time for Stanford. Nearly a foul there as Williams shakes loose.
And again, 2 or 3 different fouls there. Could have been called against Royson. This one just outside the 18-yard box once the Cardinal lost their advantage.
And now maybe another opportunity for Stanford on this set piece.
Yeah, Royson's just got to settle down there a little bit, get back to your fundamentals. Don't want to give up a foul in this scenario.
And what does Grubel do here on this opportunity?
And you can treat this practically like a short corner.
Cardinal looking for the equalizer. It's been a very fun contest between these two heavyweights.
Kitahara, top of the 18-yard box.
Grubel toward Jones, again able to punch it out, and the Blue Devils survive another opportunity.
Yep, Jones has been good the last couple of occasions.
No call here. Cooper had it on her boot, and then a nice slide by Rubenstein. Duke keeps the possession. You talked about it at halftime. One of your keys for the Blue Devils was about their defense. Do you feel like Duke has been able to maintain that same poise they had in the first half?
There have been a couple of loose plays, I would say, in their own defensive third. Bodie with the giveaway a moment ago. Royson there with the foul. It's not as clean as Coach Robbie Church would probably like, but at the end of the day, it's 2-1 in your favor. But there'll be some things they'll look at. Coach Church and the coaching staff will look at on film after this one.
Katie Groff, after the foul, will put it in play for Duke. Clock is certainly the ally of the Blue Devils here with 14 minutes remaining. Groff maybe looking for Cooper on a run there, but a nice job once again by Gurma to stay with the talented freshman of the Blue Devils. Turned over, funneled ahead. Looking for an angle to cross, and Stanford able to usher this one aside.
It's interesting to see on that one. Cooper cut her run short and stayed at the top of the 18-yard box. Seeing if Watkins could cut that one back to her.
Cosme, right now, has the biggest goal of the night for the Blue Devils. Off that set piece, drove one into the near post to give the Blue Devils the lead.
Bodie working hard for the ball, middle of the field. Got the freshman on in this big moment. We've seen a lot of freshmen out here tonight making contributions. Kitahara for the Cardinal.
Grace Watkins on ahead now for Michelle Cooper. Watkins fighting hard, and possession stays with Duke.
Speaking of freshman contributions, Michelle Cooper on the ball.
Dom's back in for Stanford.
And Jones for Duke.
Yes. Watkins a nice spell to give Jones a breather. and her effort applauded by her teammates.
And those two will be asked to do very different things here in the final 12 minutes. Doms, no doubt, on the attack, try to get downhill. Sophie Jones, be somebody that can bring stability and possess as you try to break out from your own defensive third.
Rubenstein using that touch line to her advantage. Blue Devils keep the possession, tic-tac-toe into the box, and then knocked away nicely by Germa, beg your pardon.
Bit of a head shaker there for Rubenstein. Not sure the back heel. The no-look back heel was a great play there.
And another sprawling save by Meyer.
Yeah, nearly costly for the Cardinal. Paige Rubenstein breathes a sigh of relief. Really nice save from Meyer. That would have been likely the dagger for the Blue Devils.
It was Graham shaking free for Duke.
Meyer's been good for Stanford. Nothing that she could do on either one of those goals, in my estimation.
Funneled ahead by Sophie Jones. Blue Devils unable to keep it in.
Pretty serious foot races at the Graham household, I have a feeling, growing up. A lot of pace for the sisters, Maggie and Delaney.
Delaney, the elder of the two. Blue Devils still on the attack. There's Doms right in the middle of things. 10 for the Cardinal.
Pagador's made some nice runs out of the back using her speed. Here she goes again. Kitahara.
Kitahara plays one on ahead. Nice step through again by the Blue Devils. Jones tries the clearance, but it's kept alive by Stanford. And now Gruber with it. Grubel tried to spin that one, but another corner coming for the Cardinal.
Once again, it's Kitahara. Not only the first time, but the second as well. Earns possession back. Grubel will take another corner. Really impressed by the freshman.
You see the advantage for Stanford, 8-3 in terms of corners. Is this the one where the Cardinal can find the equalizer? Far post, and Jones right there for Duke.
Yeah, I like that from Jones too. Doesn't necessarily automatically go to the punch. Saw that she had some room. You don't necessarily want to try to catch the ball in traffic, but there's actually quite a bit of space for her to handle that one.
Now, Ryan, inside of 10 minutes, Cardinal down a goal. What's the thought process for Stanford here as you look for the equalizer?
Yeah, so I think we were having this conversation about 20 minutes left in the first, and I said, well, if it's 10 or 15 minutes left, it might be a different story, and we're at that point now. Cardinal are going to have to press forward, be a little bit more direct with what they do. You don't want to get entirely away from what's gotten you here. They've generated plenty of chances.
Dom's here with it. A prolific goal scorer in her own right. Mentioned it earlier, the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week.
Already seen one player score their 5th goal of the year. Stanford would love to see Doms register her 5th.
Or Grubel. This is Rubenstein. And Ryan, we talked about it, you know, the duo for the Cardinal and Grubel and Doms. What have the Blue Devils done to neutralize those two?
Yeah, I think especially Doms has been shut down, and it's back to what we were talking about. Players like that, they want to be able to face the goal, and it sounds a bit like, you know, the song is on repeat here, but that is what it is. Sometimes what is it, Occam's razor? The simplest explanation is the right one. If you don't allow dangerous players to face goal, it makes it a lot harder for them to be dangerous. And Duke's done a really good job. I think Grubel has been more of a factor than Doms. Doms was making the run there.
Blue Devils trying for the clearance. Instead, Rubenstein serves this one in. Spun away by Duke, still alive. And then headed away a couple of times, but a dangerous opportunity here for Stanford. And Duke able just to get it out of harm's way, and a throw-in coming for the Cardinals.
It was Grubel in the middle of it again. That's what I mean. She's been able to have an effect on this game in a way that Doms hasn't quite been able to. She's initiated a lot of the set pieces as well.
Rubenstein will toss it in. Williams, now Doms. Time dwindling from the Cardinal. Blue Devil slipping there. Cardinal with some great dribbling. And then taken away. It's the leader of the Duke defense, Sophie Jones, stepping through again.
I like that from Jones there. Circle back for a moment. That one played a little farther ahead. I was surprised she didn't lay it off. Didn't have to press that possession quite as much there. It was deflected. I think that's off the Blue Devils. I don't know if Ruthie Jones noticed that.
And it will be the corner for the Cardinal here. Perhaps deflecting off of Brewster there. But Stanford now with approaching the final 6 minutes. Another golden opportunity off the set piece. Grubel.
It's a really nice ball.
Nobody home for Stanford as it went through the 6. And the goal kick for the Blue Devils. If you're just joining us, it's been a fun one between these two clubs. You see the scoring summary here. Michelle Cooper, the freshman, with her 5th of the season. Gurma equalized it. And then the 8th career goal by Kaylin Cosme to put the Blue Devils ahead in the 69th minute.
The goals from Gurma and Cosme, just absolute lasers. Gurma in the run of play, Cosme in the free kick opportunity. It's another good response from Duke. You saw those goals just a couple of minutes apart from each other. It's a repeat from the game against the Huskies.
Still loads of time left in this one, but if you're the two head coaches, what's the biggest thing that you have learned about your clubs in this matchup? Besides the fact that they're both very talented teams.
Yeah, if you're Duke, I think you feel really good. It's affirmation, it's confirmation about the different weapons this team has and the resiliency. I think you've got to love the fact, if you're Robbie Church, you hate that you conceded, but you love that you scored right away again. For Stanford, this is a lot of learning. You know, preseason is when you get organized, according to Coach Ratcliffe, and the regular season is when you get your experience. And Cardinal, another chance here.
Into the 18-yard box. Kitahara trying to make something happen, and again, it's Ruthie Jones there to spell any chance of the Cardinal.
And once again, the step over.
Yeah.
That's the best individual move we've seen tonight is Kitahara's step over. She's done it 3 different times with similar results. And if you're Stanford, when you talk about what you've learned here this evening, Kitahara's given you quite a bit. Maybe she's somebody that you play through even more in the future. It gives you another option. You talked about having a third option, so we know what Grubel can do. We know what Doms can do. Maybe Kitahara becomes that third option, facilitator role, playmaking role for Coach Ratcliffe.
Still only a freshman for this Cardinal club. The future certainly bright out on the farm. Throw-in coming for the Cardinal. And that's not to say that this contest is over by any stretch of the imagination. Still plenty of time for Stanford to pick up the equalizer. Doms. And now does Stanford play through Kitahara again? They do.
Yeah, why not?
Kitahara again trying to get an angle. Nice move by the Blue Devils, but it will result in the goal kick because of the foul that was committed there. Or just the goal kick coming at Blue Devil down. Believe that is Delaney Graham that is slow to get up and holding her head.
That's been a great battle out there on that side. Kitahara and Graham. Youth versus experience.
Out comes the Duke training staff to take a look at the senior Delaney Graham. Was holding her head, and now appears that they're just talking to Delaney, seeing how she's feeling. Hit her head very hard against the turf here at Koskinen Stadium.
What an amazing amount of progress has been made in the diagnosis, treatment of head and neck injuries. Thankfully, the days of the rub some dirt on it, take some smelling salts, and get back out there are behind us. Too much is known now about how serious these things are, especially over time, and so everybody will take the appropriate amount of time to make sure that in this case Delaney Graham is okay.
Good to see her walking off under her own power. Take a look and see if we can spot where Graham went down. Oh, hard contact with the turf.
Yeah, thank goodness it's a grass field,
yes,
and not some of that old school AstroTurf.
And so Graham off. And as you look at the big picture of this matchup, a chance for Duke to utilize some of that depth. Emily Royson will enter in the place of Delaney Graham. Who will get checked out and will no doubt want to re-enter quickly for the Blue Devils in the final 4 minutes.
Nice win in the air for Doms there, falling away. Just 5'6".
Meanwhile, Graham still going through the appropriate protocols near the Duke bench. As Stanford a throw in, and you can see the pace the Cardinal is trying to play with, knowing that time is not their ally.
And this is where, of course, the Cardinal possession-oriented, but Duke certainly content to let them pass the ball around their back line. Stanford needs to break some lines here. Duke dropping everybody well behind the ball.
Dump toward the corner. Williams trying to track it down. Does so nicely. Flared in, headed out by Duke, but not cleared. This is Cooper, able to serve one away.
2-on-1 on that far side. Handball. Unfortunate there for Germa.
And now the possession one for the Blue Devils as we move under 3 minutes.
And this will be 30 seconds off the clock, easy.
Quick strike by the Blue Devils. Jones working against Doms here. Ricochets around where Jones wins the possession. Boy, a physical game as Doms takes a tumble. Served in. Cooper trying to get behind the defense.
It's a nice play there for Brandt.
Groff has that one ricochet off of a Cardinal. As we approach the final 2 minutes, what would be a important statement-like victory for this Duke club as they look to remain unbeaten on the season.
Duke's made a statement, non-conference. They're hoping to punctuate that statement here in the final 2 minutes.
Asked Robbie Church about the schedule and the difficulty of the schedule. Said it's easy to play a schedule like this when you have such a veteran team. Perhaps the schedule looks different in the non-conference for Duke next year with some of this leadership moving on.
Duke's got a nice balance of experience and talent. And then you add in someone like Cooper, who's next level. Something special brewing here in the Bull City this year. Be a 5-0 start potentially if Duke can hang on for the last 80 seconds.
Stanford would suffer their first loss of the season, and the Cardinal a chance to regroup. Doesn't get any easier for Stanford either, taking on one of the best teams in the country on Sunday at North Carolina. Running the gauntlet here down Tobacco Road. And North Carolina, a shutout victory over Northwestern. at Dorrance Field just down the street. Meanwhile, the Blue Devils will take the weekend off. They will be back in action next week here at home against East Carolina in their final non-conference tune-up before they take on the Tar Heels to open up Atlantic Coast Conference play.
How about the win percentages between Radcliffe and Dorrance? It's got to happen quickly for Stanford, and that might just about do it. I imagine this is headed toward the corner flag.
And it will be a 6-0 start, or a 5-0 start for the Blue Devils as they defeat Stanford tonight. A top 10 showdown will go the way of 5th-ranked Duke as the Blue Devils able to survive the Stanford rally, score late, and win 2-1. And look at the celebration for Robbie Church and his Blue Devils.
Yeah,
right?
You can tell how much this means to Duke. This is not what we saw after Duke won its first few games here at Koskinen. Little something extra in this game, the history between Duke and Stanford. You mentioned the big-time matchups. A lot of them have taken place in the NCAA tournament with a lot on the line. It's the second win in the series for the Blue Devils.